Awesome. Thank you guys for coming to our panel. We're happy to be here. Coming from the Rhode Island Comic Con, myself, Frank Wojo, and the doctors in the house, Mr. Paul Clarke. I want to say hi to everybody out there on the Mego Ambassador Facebook page. Thanks for tuning in. We've got a pretty cool panel lined up for you, and some cool things to talk about, some cool things to show you. So we'll get right into it. We're gonna have a few videos to show you, and we'll show the videos, and we'll talk about what we're showing. So just bear with me 1 second. There you go.
Good stuff.
All right. That was actually Mego Minix, something new. Coming from Mego. Some pretty exciting licenses involved in that. We got Squid Games, Stranger Things, The Witcher. So it's kind of a new direction, but it's something new. It's something that I think the fans are really enjoying the licenses that they're going to see with this new product. I think the first assortment is supposed to hit sometime around Christmas, is what we're looking at. And I think the wider release is around first quarter of next year. I think you're going to see some additions to the Stranger Things license. You're going to see some additional characters with Squid Games. Money Heist is one of the first properties coming out. So it's pretty exciting. It's something a little different for Mego. But we're really excited about the product. And I can tell you the reactions from the fans coming by the table, checking it out, has been really positive. So we're pretty excited for that. So, yeah. Pretty cool stuff. We've got some samples up here for the Minix stuff, and then Paul there actually has a production sample of the Guillermo del Toro Pinocchio set that should be coming out here fairly soon as well. So that came out really nice. It's a really cool set.
Yes.
Should we put your set there? Yeah, very cool.
Pinocchio
And cricket.
Sebastian J. Cricket.
There you go. So some new stuff coming out. But I think I think we're all here really to talk about the world's greatest superheroes. Let's just get into that, Paul. So
Okay. 1972, November 8th, Corvettes in New York City got the first shipment of world's greatest superheroes, and Marty Abrams, the president of Mego, was friendly with the guys at Corvettes and said, look, I want to put them out before Toy Fair to kind of see how they do. And Batman, Robin, Aquaman, flying off the shelves. Superman, well, kids weren't really buying. And he's like, I don't get it. And he asked one of the kids, and the kid said, well, it's Bizarro. I said, what does that mean? He goes, it's Bizarro Superman. His emblem's backwards. And Marty looked at the figure and realized that the kid was right. The emblem was backwards. They made a mistake. So he was like, hey, the kids know, they know what they want. So they got it corrected. So when they were shown at Toy Fair, the emblem was correct, and did well. What we did was, 2022 was the 50th anniversary of that release of Corvettes, and we have painstakingly reproduced the figures from a local mass Batman by sending the originals to the factory to make sure that every detail was done right. And I said, the most important thing is the Batman cowl. That is going to be what, you're known for. These were only produced from 1972 to 1973. The And then we went to the painted mask.
Check that out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And these will retail for $20 a piece at Walmart, at Amazon, on Frank's site, Absolutely Retro. We will be putting out originally 8 figures. And then there's plans for at least another 8. And quite frankly, I am going to keep making these until they tell me I can't anymore.
There you go.
Literally, it's going to take a quarter.
And we talked about, Paul was referring, I think there was a picture of the countertop display going around, like on social media with a lot of the villains and, people were, I see that character there, that character there. So, there's some really cool villains coming out, super gals, so some really cool stuff.
Yes, because we've got, and what that opens up actually is lots of 50th anniversaries. Since, Mego really was king of the toy aisle in the 70s. Now we have the ability to have 50th anniversary Star Trek Megos, 50th anniversary Planet of the Apes.
What?
Yes, I did not stop. But that has to start with the 50th anniversary of World's Greatest Appearance. I'd just like to take him out and show him.
Well, Paul was showing me that earlier with yesterday, and when you hold that in your hand, it's like a time machine. It's like a time. It takes you right back to for me the first one was 1976, and it takes you right back to 1976. Just the construction of the outfit. I mean, how many times have we done that? Paul's still doing it.
I am still.
Hey.
From the first time I saw the George Reeves Superman on
Yep,
TV,
yep.
and then I got Amiga Superman, I was like,
But-
oh, this is a kid-sized Superman.
If you hold that up again, Paul, take a look at the color of the outfit and the way the cape, the texture of the cape. It's
It's just like the original.
it's pretty much
We even said boots have to be low-density polyethylene, because of course you know what that means. But as opposed to
think of like
C or
milk.
ABS.
milk gallon or jug material, plastic, the same material that the originals are made of. So,
Inserts are exactly the same as the original inserts. And we even brought the original boxes in to make sure the colors that were sent to the factory were the exact colors that were on the original boxes. So every detail has been looked on, even, and it's not what's on this one, but we even went with the large S that the first Superman figures came with. Not the Bizarro one. And, okay, well, there you go. And we're also doing Flash and Green Lantern. What Mego never did back in the day. We're putting those in the assortment. So you'll be able to
what's
get many more than just what Mego did.
really cool about the Green Lantern figure, the Flash we don't have with us today, but they fit right in with the aesthetic of the world's greatest superheroes. It looks like something that Mego would have put out back in the 70s. Yeah, slide.
The Robin mask was removable Robin. It was only available 1 year, 1973. And when giving the factory the instructions to do it, I sent them pictures of what the original looked like, because I don't have an original. And they would say, but you barely see his eyes. I go, exactly. It has to be exactly that bad. That's it.
But that good.
Yeah, yeah, I know it sounds strange, but that's really what we're looking for. And I said, I actually sent an original Robin box to the factory because the Robin box has such a strange shade of aquamarine or,
Yeah.
but what do we call this? But I said, I'm willing to sacrifice an original box just so you can match this color. There's no room for error on this. So there he is with this cloth belt and removable mask. $19.99 on Amazon.com You can pre-order them. Walmart.com and Walmart stores are supposed to be getting them in stock in the next couple of days, weeks.
And I should have them probably closer to the end of this month too, so you can reach out to me as well.
I don't think so.
Yeah. But we'll just tell a story about the material on the cape.
Oh,
Paul. It's pretty cool.
years ago, back in 1997, when I started doing Dr. Mego, I was going through fabric stores in Manhattan, trying to find the material Mego used for the capes. And I'm feeling, on one hand, I had a cape, an original cape, and on the other hand, I was feeling fabric, and I was going, no, that's too thick, no, that's too thin, no, that's too nice, that's too shiny, that's not. I got back to my office, I was working at the Time Life building, and I was like, I just can't find the right material. And I picked up an umbrella off the floor of my office, and I went, that's it. A cheap $3 street umbrella. That's what it is. So,
Definitely captured that look.
when dealing with a factory, they sent me, a sample, and I was like, sorry, the cape is too nice. It has to be a regular umbrella. And they're like, really? Yes, really. The oven mitts on Batman and Robin were the same vinyl they use for pool toys. I go, it's toys. Toys were meant to be inexpensive, disposable things for children. I said, you're overthinking because you're thinking, no, our customers are adult men. They're going to want things better. Adult women. They're going to want better quality. But if you're trying to reproduce it, you want to hit exactly what you did. Today, when we make Mego fashion figures, I would not use oven mitts.
Yeah.
Because I want the figure to be able to hold this accessory. I don't know why they thought Batman would be able to hold a bat rope with oven mitts. That would be plastic.
That's part of the allure.
It's
Mego,
So,
And even the Robin outfit you were mentioning, that's it, right?
yes, the Robin's entire tunic is the same nylon they use for umbrellas. That's why they always shredded. Because if you don't have a hem on it.
These are
it
better
starts to-
umbrellas that won't shred. Just that out there. Yeah, right.
Well, I'm really not expecting these things to get the same kind of.
I don't know, you were just playing with the Superman, so.
I do. And they look at me funny, and I go, "What? This is what you do with toys. You play with them." Green Arrow will be coming later. Original, the artwork, the Alex Toth Super Friends model sheet that was used on the original box. Want to make sure that we actually get everything the way it was. So,
Very cool.
okay.
Very cool. What,
Want to talk about monsters?
yeah, we can circle back to those greats too. Wave 16 Monsters, if you guys don't know, we're doing Leatherface from the Netflix movie, Victor Crowder from Hatchet's coming out in an assortment, and also Ghostface.
Yes. Ghostface, we're hoping to be able to do a lot of variants.
Yeah.
Because apparently the Ghostface fans like it all different ways. So we're looking into, what the license allows.
Yeah.
And, so we can make a lot of difference to make it more interesting.
It seems like the Ghostface fans really going for the
Absolutely.
different looks.
I mean, everybody likes variants.
Yeah.
We like it with, Star Trek. We like it. I've done more than 7 Spocks to date.
Yeah.
The cool thing about Mego is it's not like a hard plastic toy where this is what it is and that's what it can be. And if you want to customize it, you have to paint it. Mego allows you to use fabric to make your own statement, to do your own version of a character. If you don't like what we put out, you can make your own.
That's where it starts, right?
Every
I
kid.
remember as a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, Batman wearing Robin's outfits, you dressed the Joker's outfit, I did it all. I mean, it was just, that was part of the fun.
Weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when the body would break or you get a new one, and now all of a sudden you had fodder for making
Yeah.
a custom. I turned Shazam into Marvel's Son of Satan.
Who's weird now?
Yeah, yeah. And I put the devil symbol on his chest, and my mother's like, all right, that's it. Now this is too far.
Yeah, that's part of the fun that Mego figures out. I mean, that was, yeah, we all did that.
It absolutely is. But,
Yeah.
oh,
The one thing that we would also mention is that the Rolls Royce are going to be on the new bandless bodies. I don't know if you guys have seen some of those. They're 24 points of articulation or 26?
26.
26 points of
We counted.
articulation. So, no more of the rubber banded bodies. They're all, got the swivel joints, the knee joint. I mean, they're really, really, really posable.
these are actually being done in a different factory than G.I. Joe and Ghostbusters. So when we got G.I. Joe bodies from this factory, we realized, oh, wait a minute, they're not quite the right size. So when we went to we have another factory that's been doing a lot of production for us, and we made sure that these bodies are right in scale with the original Megos. And the heads are now done as injection molded, not blow molded. I know that doesn't mean to sound like much,
They
but
can't you do a lot more detail?
you get a lot more detail in injection molded, just like any accessory you see. You can capture a lot more fine lines of detail. Mego heads were always done by a method called blow molding, which is the details in the mold, but then the PVC is kind of spattered in to the mold and then put it in a rotational casting machine. I was actually at a factory and watched it being done. And it's amazing. They just kind of work some stuff in, throw it in this big cage, and it rotates around. And when it comes out, it's really hot. It has to be put into a tank of water to cool down. And then while it's still warm, they pull out the heads. That's basically how doll heads, are made.
It's like, no,
Yeah.
these are dolls.
These are dolls, and I'll be glad to pick that, like nerd, I'll be glad to pick that term up and wear it with pride. Like, I love when guys are like, no, they're not dolls, they play with dolls. At 58 years old, I play with dolls, my wife's very fine with it. So, if you're trying, because the whole point is they're trying to make you uncomfortable
Yeah.
by saying, those are dolls. It's like, I'm not going for that.
They're action figures.
Well, they're action figures, they've always said, actually, 8-inch action figure, works him in any action position. So, but action figure didn't really get into the lexicon until Star Wars, when it was all plastic, Then it was, oh, that's an action figure, G.I. Joe was called an action doll. And they were like, oh, that doll thing is not, that did not stop Hasbro from selling millions of them.
Right.
So, anyway, enough ranting.
They look good. I mean, I think they turned out great. I mean,
Yeah.
They look really good. Even with the new bodies, they really fill out the out. They look heroic. They look great. I personally can't wait.
Yes, I even bought 70s pajamas to wear Christmas morning, so I can hold these team guys. And
Well, you have a photo you're going to recreate. Did you see something like that?
yes, there's a photo of me out there from Christmas 1974, stepping over a Batcave box. And my younger brother's standing behind me holding a Batman box.
That's cool.
I just don't know if he's willing to put on the 70s pajamas and come to my house for Christmas.
Yeah.
But, hey, I'm family, you better.
Exactly.
There are ways of persuasion if you need to.
My brother.
Yeah. Very cool. So lots of exciting stuff. Coming out. Maybe we have about 15 minutes left. We're going to open up for some questions. So, yeah, Edward.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, like,
You can ask about Trelane, don't ask about Trelane.
no, what I was going to ask is, like, you mentioned the Batcave, and I mean, I've been thinking the same thing with, like, Planet of the Apes and Star Trek. Are there, like, any plans to do, like, play sets?
Absolutely. We have been working on play sets and trying to think of how's the best way
Yeah.
to do it. Is it the printed cardboard
Yeah.
in vinyl? Does that really work well for the collectors, for the adult base? When we were kids, The Enterprise was the greatest thing in the world. It was a handle that you take to grandma's, and then you opened it up, and just,
Yeah.
your guys all fit inside.
Yep.
Guys. Yeah.
There you go.
And you set them all up,
That's awesome.
and you had your adventures. When I put my Enterprise on a bookshelf, I can't close the glass doors.
Right.
So does that really work best
Yeah.
for what we need today? I mean, I have a table in my dining room that sits the Enterprise, the Batcave, and Planet of the Treehouse, and they're dust collectors.
Yeah.
You know, I constantly have to go clean it, you know.
It was something that you were talking about that would fit on a standard bookshelf.
Yeah, what I'd really like to do is something that fits on your standard bookshelf. So you can minimize the dust there. And something that can be modular, so that you can stack it up, whether it's engineering, bridge,
Right.
sick bay, you know, or a village, Dr. Zayas' courtroom,
Right.
you know, the forbidden zone, you know, the mutant, I'm a New Yorker.
Yeah.
Okay? Beneath the Planet of the Apes, they have Wall Street right next to Radio City Music Hall. I'm like, did you guys never go there? Did you never see Matt?
It was like,
Plate shifted, yeah.
it was apocalypse. So yeah, everything, we shipped it around. Anything that's built this
Okay,
way.
all right,
that way.
whatever.
Oh.
So downtown all of a sudden became midtown.
Right, right.
You know, Grand Central Station is right there. I'm like, all right. But anyway, but any property or even a generic, the idea would be to make it so that it fits in with what you really want. Not just putting out the same old thing just to say, hey, remember this, buy this again.
I think if you adapt it to like modern needs, but in principle, it still looks the same.
Right,
I think
right.
I mean, I'd certainly
The
buy
Mego
that.
place was always based on the 3-panel stage.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, you have your background, middle ground, foreground.
Yeah.
And you have, you know, the sides. Definitely want to make the transport.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That is on the list. In fact, we may put the transport in every place just to have a reason.
Yeah.
There you go, right?
You know, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, yeah.
I said Big Bang Theory, the place, the transporter to put on the show, never got back.
They made it on the show, right?
It was on the show.
Well,
Yeah, they
that's
took
something.
They had to
That's very,
in the box.
very.
I just wanted to, like, I want the functional transporter that I can like send my friend, my Kirk, and then they can give me like a spot or something. I'm just gonna trade back and forth.
We've got scientists working on it.
But I think you can accomplish the thing that what Paul was talking about with the standard bookshelf size, keep that same look that you're talking about, you know,
Yeah.
with the color, with the plastic on the sides. I mean, it's, yeah, something that.
Because I bought the when Diamond selected
Yeah.
the bridge
Oh, yeah.
like
Yeah.
those years
Yeah.
back. I ate that one up because I'm like, yeah, I have to have that.
It was great,
It was, yeah.
but the problem was retail to the same price that the vintage was going for.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they made it in China, that's shipping a lot of air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they ended up, each one was its own case.
Yeah.
Right.
So I worked with Diamond Select on it, and I actually showed them Robin Adams' reimagined Enterprise, which is like theater in the round. The
Right.
problem with that is, it would take up this whole table,
Right. Yeah.
but it's beautiful. But is it make sense? Most of us have a limited amount of space to display our things. So, I want to try a lot different, I want to see if there's different ways at different price points.
I'll start getting planning permission to build an extension on my house then when these.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. So am I. So am I. So, yes.
Good question. Should
Yes.
we look for the box display like that at retailers?
This is called CPU, the counter display.
There you go.
And retailers put this out. The idea was that if this was the shipping box,
Right.
and then you just fold this up, and there it is. I said, listen, instead of customers trying to take these from retailers and leaving old figures out on the shelf, you know,
Right.
why don't we, if we're gonna make this for retailers, offer it to customers, shipped flat,
Right.
to somebody like Frank, you know, where it's clean and new, and you don't have to get
Yeah.
security on your case at a retailer for stealing a display.
But the thing of it is, I mean, everybody wants one of these. And what's cool about it is, they want to buy, they want one of these, they want to fill up the figures. So,
Yes, and want to sell it to you full of figures.
There you go.
So I want to do it every, however, makes sense. The original, actually, was 9 Supermans, 9 Batmans, 4 Robins, and 2 Aquamans. So Aquaman got no love even in the 1970s.
Think about it, man.
You're a small minority. Okay, so we're doing 8 to start. Superman, Batman, Robin, Aquaman, Shazam, Green Lantern, Flash, Green Arrow. We could, for a 24 pack, we could do 3 of each.
Right.
We could probably come up with it where we could, we could ship them empty, Frank could send you your assortment
Right.
and get the best of both worlds,
Yeah.
which is the point of being an adult toy collector. When I turned 18, my girlfriend gave me, for my 18th birthday, Superman, Spider-Man, and Captain America Megos. And I was stunned, because I was like, my mother made me throw all my Megos away.
And when did
In
you marry this
1976.
girlfriend?
I married her in 1988.
Yeah, you
I'm married 34 years.
There you go.
She's already a keeper when she
Exactly.
Absolutely. And listen, she was, when I said, well, I'd like to make the Mego body in China for Dr. Mego. I said, that's going to cost like $15,000. And she said, why don't we take a home equity loan to pay for it?
Jeez. Oh,
And I was like, I already married you.
yeah.
I was like, but, you realize now,
Yeah.
when 5,000 bodies arrived to my garage, my driveway,
Right.
I ripped them open. I'm going through them like, like 5,000 Mego bodies, making it endless.
Happy store.
I was thrilled. I looked back at my wife and said, how are you doing? She went, cool. I call her Andy the Enabler. But all along the way, she's been like, this is what you gotta do. For 25 years, I've been trying to get to this day. And all along the way, she's just been like, go. It's, so.
Very, very cool. We have a few minutes left. Any other questions?
I apologize if you talked beforehand, first, as a teacher. 50th anniversary, world's greatest DC, what about Marvel?
We're working on it.
It's
We're always working. There's never a day we're not working on it.
And the board of the G.I. Joe, I know we have the Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, and more G.I. Joe Megos coming up.
That's up to Hasbro. And we've proposed.
I've got a list. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's no shortage of lists.
Right.
But every one of you guys has lists.
Yeah.
And we go over them, we read them, we think about it.
Yep.
talk about it.
Yep.
It's just a matter of some properties are attainable and some aren't. And for Marvel, we may not be able to do it as a $20 figure. So,
I know, it's Paul. That question comes up all the time. I can tell you, we all want Marvel, but it's something that isn't. It's just, we'll see what happens. But that's always something on our minds too.
I'm more of a DC fan, but the
Yeah.
Mego Spider-Man is
Oh, yeah, Mego Spider-Man's like
one of the
phenomenal.
70s
Yeah,
toys, period.
exactly.
I made those for Diamond Select
Yeah,
in 2014.
yeah,
And we said it's limited to 3,000 of them.
yeah.
And it was like, because, but a lot of people were like, well, $80, that's a lot. I'm like, is it?
Yeah.
But we have to work with the
Right.
boundaries of the license.
Yeah. But we're gonna be wrapping up here pretty soon. Question? One last, but I'll let you go.
So I just have to know that the new figures that are coming out, are they going to be kind of like melt-proof? So if I drop them in a lamp that shakes the volcano, or Superman is going to save everybody from the volcano and gets
Is
left
this
there
something
for-
you've done already as a child, or is this
Yeah.
something- Yeah.
Yeah.
If you put it in a volcano, that violates the manufacturer's warranty.
Yeah, right.
Is there any chance that it wasn't Superman or it was a limited edition Bizarro that may have melted in that lamp?
That's,
Bizarro's coming.
Okay.
Whoa, okay. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
You can say more if you want.
Yeah.
I I throw those little out there.
There you go, that's what I want.
But,
Hey,
I'm not ready.
You heard it here, we're really Comic-Con.
You know, I mean, that's, you know, kind of the fun is, there's so many characters that would work great in this format.
I'm blessed, dude.
So, I do.
What list do you have exactly?
There we
This is on top of lists.
go. Quite a few.
But, you know, it's definitely something I'd like to keep going.
Yeah, me could just go deep into the.
Yeah. Past, you know, and as I said, we're gonna start hitting a lot of 50th anniversaries.
Yeah.
Planet of the Apes was 1974.
There you go.
So I do all I can to have, you know,
Yeah.
but it's like, well, do you do, we did Cornelius and Dr. Zayas, you know, when we first got the Planet of the Apes license.
Right.
There's always two minds. There's people that say, well, you should put out exactly what Mego did. And then, well, I already have those, so you should do New Guys.
Yeah.
And it's
I like a bit of
I'd
both.
like to do both. Yeah.
Same here. Yep, absolutely. So,
Depends on how well it sells.
yeah. But, hey, look, we appreciate everybody showing up and joining us today.
We do.
Yeah, absolutely. Just as far as just a couple things coming up, I know next week, we're gonna be, Mego Corp is gonna be at Monster Mania in Oaks, PA. We're gonna be making a lot of appearances next year. One appearance close to Mego home, it's gonna be at the Trek Long Island Comic Con. So,
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
And what is that?
That's actually,
Long Island.
and what is
Yep.
it, May?
It is May 20th and 21st.
May 20th through 21st next year. That's gonna be in Long Island, so.
We're gonna be having Mego.
Yep, so that's one coming up, but plans for a lot of shows, a lot of appearances next year. If you're not already, please follow Mego Corp on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We just set up a new Mego Minutes Instagram account, so you can check us out there for all the latest, things on the Mego Minutes figures.
What does Pinocchio come out on Netflix? Yeah.
No, I thought it was actually sometime in December.
That's what I,
Yeah, for the Pinocchio movie, so.
that'll be on
Yeah,
Netflix.
yeah, for that. But yeah,
Yes.
check that out. Really, that's really cool. Yeah, came out great.
This is a repack of Geppetto, Pinocchio, and Sebastian J. Cricket.
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro himself has been overseeing the production on this. He has been weighing in on approvals. So it is
Really good.
sanctioned.
Yeah, so. But, hey, thanks everybody for coming today. We appreciate it. If you haven't already, thank you. Come check us out. We're on the lower level of the AMP Center, formerly the NUG Center, 36G. So come check us out. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.